Bottom story today, 6ix9ine is facing multiple charges, including racketeering in there. And that's why.
We brought in our US law correspondent and resident of the True Geordie podcast, criminal expert, because he used to be one, Shaun Attwood.
Excellent.
Thanks for coming, mate.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me back on. I'm listening to all these YouTube channels saying Tekashi's going to get a life sentence.
Yeah.
He's going to be going to trial late next year. He's already snitching. He's moved to a prison for snitches. It's all complete and utter bullshit. Nobody knows what they're talking about on this case because they've never been facing a Rico case.
And you have?
I was facing the exact same charges as Tekashi in the Arizona State Prison system.
Wow.
So let's just start by explaining what Rico means.
What does Rico mean?
People can't even pronounce it.
No.
Racketeer, Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act.
Right. Is that basically when you're a gangster then?
So, this was introduced to take down the mafia. You got Paul Castellano prancing around his replica of the White House in his silk pajamas. He's not actually physically committing any crimes. The foot soldiers at the street level are heisting trucks, extorting people, doing money laundering. So how do we nail Paul in his silk pajamas? We introduce a law that makes him responsible for everybody else within his organization.
And that's how Tekashi 6ix9ine's been dragged into this, because he ain't a boss. He isn't even a foot soldier. He's just their famous guy on the side who shouts "Tray away."
He's the Frank Sinatra of this world.
Yeah, so they've brought him in to look the part. You know what I mean? So, what is likely to happen to him at this point right now? What's he going through?
Okay, so within this Rico structure, my charges were conspiracy, crime syndicate, continuous criminal organization. So regarding the crime syndicate, they give everybody a letter in terms of order of importance. So because he is so high profile, they're going to have him near the apex. There are 3 strategies I have that he can employ to get out of this without snitching and not serve over 10 years, which is what happened in my case.
So if you're also in this situation at home, maybe you're going through a Rico case yourself, it's highly likely at some point in your life, then you can follow.
We will re-upload this on a How to Beat Rico title and thumbnail.
Because they did it in Batman, will they do it here?
First strategy, united defense. The guys who've got the money in the crime syndicate pay for a high-priced lawyer. He then gives his instructions to all the other lawyers representing all of the other co-defendants, and you've got a united defense, and that then prevents everybody from snitching.
Right, okay.
What are the other things you can do in this point?
Strategy number 2, don't snitch. Because what happens is the prosecutor right now with Tekashi, she's saying murder, conspiracy, weapons charges.
They're trying to frighten them.
Multiple life sentences.
Piling it on.
They're trying to scare the shit out of these guys without actually giving them the legal discovery yet. Their lawyers right now will just be borrowing through all that legal discovery, figuring out what they're up against. So to say that Tekashi snitched already when he's not, he doesn't even know what he's up against is complete and utter nonsense.
Right.
They need to know what they're up against, so they're just using these scare tactics of saying he's snitched, life sentence, murder beef, to try and break people down from the get-go. But the lawyers will come back and say, hey, here's what we're up against. Here's what you're looking at. We're going to negotiate this down. So there's no way Tekashi, if he's not got prior federal or state felony convictions, he's got misdemeanors to aggravate the sentence with, there's no way he's going to be serving a life sentence.
The one thing that did happen in court is when they were all in court and he pled not guilty, Shotty, the head honcho, he basically turns around and starts shouting and sending a message to everyone in that group of the lads saying, "We don't bend, we don't break, it's fucking Treyway," and he shouts that in front of the judge. What was he doing in saying that?
This is a misguided announcement revolving around strategy 2, because there's a time and a place to get this information to your co-defendants. Strategy number 3 is courtroom decorum.
That's right, basically.
Kiss that judge's ass, because he's the guy who can send you away for life if he feels disrespected.
Do you think he's trying to tell 6ix9ine to stick with us and don't snitch, or is that more of a threat?
Bad way to do it though.
Both. Bad way to do it, and there's other ways to do this which I employed strategically that wouldn't piss the judge off. So for example, I was in Towers Jail in my first year. Loads of my co-defendants are in there. We go to religious services. We're all sat on the back rows at religious services. I'm giving them the latest news from my lawyer.
God, it's good.
Spreading the word on the development.
Spreading the good Lord's word.
Yes,
Right.
Yes.
You became very religious all of a sudden.
Praise him.
The prosecutor got so so sick of me doing this. After a year in medium security, she doubled my bail to $1.5 million cash only. Genius. So I would be automatically reclassified to maximum security to a different facility from my co-defendants, which is exactly what they've done to Tekashi.
Yeah, they've slipped him straight into the
It doesn't mean he's snitching. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is these prosecutors are like car salespeople. That life sentence gets negotiated down.
Right.
But every time someone agrees to cooperate, they have more bargaining power. And you got to get up in front of the judge, and this is not snitching. You've just got to say, I plead guilty to such and such an offence. In Tekashi's case, he can say, his dad got murdered. Right. That is a mitigating circumstance. There are two types of circumstances that can increase or decrease your sentence. An aggravating circumstance, getting in front of the judge and saying to your co-defendants, I'm not going to fold, I'm not going to bend, is an aggravating circumstance. He's going to up your sentence.
Right.
Mitigating circumstances are things that the judge will take into consideration to reduce your sentence.
Right.
So Tekashi needs to get like all these people writing letters to the judge saying like he was just out as a young person, his dad died, trying to grow this business. Tekashi 6ix9ine adopts my three strategies. He's going to get anywhere from a 5 to 10 year sentence. These felonies will be reduced so that he won't have to serve 100% of his sentence. Right. So we could see him getting out within about a 5 year period or so.
Am I right in thinking that this might not even go to trial, is what you were saying?
It's not going to go to trial. All these people saying Tekashi's going to go to trial next year, it's complete and utter nonsense. These cases don't go to trial. They end up in plea bargains. He is now a target for the gangs, and it's complex because he's half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, but he's claiming Bloods. So 9 Trey Bloods came out of Rikers Island prison gang, black gang. So if there's an issue...
But he's denounced that recently, so they could be wanting vengeance for that shit.
He might have denounced that to cause a paper trail to help his case. He might have seen this was coming.
There's no coincidence that he did the Breakfast Club a week before he got arrested. But they claim, and there's evidence of this, that when he came out and said, I don't want to be a part of this shit anymore, that they were tapping the phones of the Treyway gang, and they had been saying, we're going to kill him, basically. We're going to kill him because he's denounced us now. Now, they might have just been saying that because they know they're getting tapped, or the more likely thing is that part of this is true.
I think he's getting hyped up because serious gangsters who are going to kill someone don't speak about it on the phone. They just come up behind you on a dark night down an alley and put one behind your ear.
How does the money move around when obviously he's got no money in prison and the people in prison have got no money? Like, you can't exactly hold up his... do you take COD?
Yeah.
How do you move that money around?
Well, Tekashi is now an ATM for whatever prison he's at, but the money doesn't actually come out of his mouth.
It comes out his arse.
Not if he doesn't drop the soap.
Yeah.
So Tekashi's people on the street would have a black bag with a sports bag with some cash in it, would be handed over to the gang leaders' people on the street, and that would pay for his safety.
Wow.
Well, that's been great analysis from our man Shaun Attwood. We'll get you back to talk more about it, and we'll do a podcast.
People are begging for another podcast.
With Wild Man, yeah.
Shaun,
Bring
thank
back
you
the
so
Wild
much.
Man.
Yeah.
If you want to check out more of Shaun's stuff, there's the book. Links are in the description below. He'll be covering most of on his channel.
Appreciate you all supporting my channel.
Great
Over
channel.
100,000 subscribers now.
Strong.
Thanks to Geordie and Lawrence here, lighting a fire under it. Appreciate that, guys.
Good to have you. Thanks, Shaun.
Cheers.